Now, I don't say this lightly. This guy's name has been in the spotlight for a little bit, and he certainly isn't an unknown amongst the Red Wings fanbase and watchers of prospects. But when it comes to the proportional spotlight, I guess you could say, or the attention that is divided up amongst Red Wings prospects and young guys, this player doesn't really get the fair share that I think he deserves. Sure, everybody talks about Simon Edvinsson, everybody talks about Sebastian Cossa, top picks from the 2021 draft. Everybody talks about the European guys. Because you had Raymond Insider coming over from last season, you have yourselves other conversations about guys like Albert Johansson, you have the big players in William Wallinder over there too, not to mention Elmer Soderblom. These guys are also getting their chance at showing off at the international level, so Red Wings fans are all over looking at these guys and talking about them every day. But when it comes to Jonatan Berggren, things are a little bit different, because when you talk about Berggren and the overall scouting profile he has for 21-22, you'll kind of find that he's a bit lacking when it comes to where he has actually played. Where Soderblom and Edvinsson and all these other guys have had their fair share at international tournaments, Jonatan Berggren spent his entire season playing in the Grand Rapids Griffins. No Team Sweden to be seen, no international showcases to be seen, but there still is so much to go forward with when it comes to this player and what he's accomplished that it's not proportional to the amount of conversation I see going around this guy's name in the slightest. So let's talk about Jonatan Berggren and what he has done so far in the AHL in his first pro season in North America, and talk about where he can go from here. Because when it comes to Berggren, he was always one of the guys that I had my eye on in the 2018 draft. This was because back in 2017-18, he was a very good point producer in the J20 Super Elite as a 17 turning 18-year-old player. He was born on July 16th, 2000, which is actually a few days removed from my birthday, too. Hello, I'm also a Cancer. But this guy's 21 years old, 5'11", 194 as a left-handed forward, and he's signed till the end of 2024 on his entry-level deal. There isn't any contract sliding that can go on anymore because he's a little bit too old, but regardless, he's still here. He was drafted by the Wings in the second round of the 2018 draft, 33rd overall, which was right around the range where he was supposed to go. If you take a look at the previous rankings, he was ranked 30th by ISS, 44th by Future Considerations, 28th by McKeen's, 38th by TSN and Bob McKenzie, and he was the 30th highest ranked European skater by NHL Central Scouting. So 33rd overall is roughly akin to what these scouting outlets had for Berggren in his projection, and it took him a while to really start to get the gears turning. He played the next season with the Skellefteå AIK in the SHL, where he had 3 points in 16 games, and then the next 2 seasons you saw some more production coming out of him. His really good season, though, came last year, where he had 45 points in 49 games. He also had himself a stint with Team Sweden at the Worlds, where he had 8 points in 13 games. And last season, this is really when I saw the most hype for Berggren, because everybody was going out there talking about, oh, this guy is a point per game in the SHL, he is showing off at the international stage, look at this, you can see his games on TSN, because, you know, it's the Worlds. But once he made his debut in North America, for some reason, I feel like all the attention shifted towards the guys that were still in Europe and still in Sweden, and we didn't really have too much of a focus on what was going on in the Red Wings' backyard. That's not to say that there aren't any Grand Rapids Griffins fans, it's just to say that when I would look at people talking about Red Wings prospects online, especially in my own comment section, I would see people getting so hyped up about Niederbach and Soderblom and Edvinsson and all these other guys, which is totally justified, it's just nobody was really talking about Berggren anymore. And that's a shame, because in Berggren's first full pro season in North America, playing for the Grand Rapids Griffins, unfortunately he was a -18 in 68 games. That's not great. But what was great is the fact that he scored 20 goals and 40 assists for 60 total points in 68 games played too. We talked earlier in... oh boy, it was a year ago, May of 2021, about how his junior numbers in the SHL were as good as guys like Pettersson, and I believe Zetterberg was in there too. That was a video we made a long time ago, but now, playing in the Grand Rapids Griffin system, he has just set the record for the highest points any rookie player has ever had for the Griffins. Take a look at this article on the Red Wings website. Grand Rapids Griffins forward Jonatan Berggren continues to have quite the rookie AHL season, as he has set a new Griffin single-season rookie scoring record with his 60th point, which came at 5:39 in the third period against the Chicago Wolves on Sunday. The 21-year-old accomplished the feat with an assist, his second helper of the afternoon, on forward Riley Barber's second goal. Here are some quotes talking about Berggren and what the other players on the team have to say. Berggren is a great player, fellow Red Wings prospect Tar Hiroshi said. It's really easy to play with him. You just have to get open, and he's going to find you in spots on the ice where you're going to be able to make plays and skate with the puck. Berggren said, I'm just trying to help the team win games, as he is going through a season-high 9-game point streak. I know I'm an offensive player, so I need to score goals for us to have a chance to win. If you're wondering, he's got 60 points, it's the new rookie record for Grand Rapids Griffins play, the guy he passed was actually Timo Pulkkinen, who had 59 points in 2013-14, so good on him to go out there and beat Pulkkinen of all people. Berggren's 40 helpers are the most by a Griffins rookie, and his 20 goals are tied for 8th most. Of course, it feels good to score goals and get points, Berggren said, but for me, the most important thing are team wins. If you go over to his recent stats as well, this is a post on the Red Wings subreddit, his game-by-game stats. He's got 31 points in his last 32 games, which is a point per game. He's got oh, no, it's not a point per game. It's almost there, but yeah, you get what I mean. In his last 17 games, he's got 21 points, so 6 goals, 15 assists, and in his last 8 games, he's got 13 points, 5 goals, 8 assists, a 1.63 points per game. He's got a good record, and he's getting better as the year is going on. Here is the scouting report of what Berggren has done so far on Dobber Prospects. After dealing with injury after injury the last few seasons, Berggren managed to stay healthy, and he looked absolutely phenomenal. His playmaking is incredibly refined, and he does a wonderful job passing through layers and finding teammates all over the ice. His shot is still a work in progress, but improvement is noted. There's so much to like in Berggren's game, and the hype of his skill set in his draft year that led many to rank him as a first-round prospect is starting to show. Berggren needs to get stronger, continue to round out his 200-foot game, and develop, but the offensive tools and skill are evident every time he steps foot on the ice. It won't be long before he's doing so with the winged wheel on his chest. And so now, you take a look at what Berggren has done, and you say, okay, where do you go from here? Point per game guy, 21 years old, he's turning 22 in July, and he will be, in the second year of his entry-level contract when 2022-2023 starts? Does he play in Grand Rapids full-time next season? For sure, he's going to get a sample at the NHL, just because, hey, it would be kind of foolish of Yzerman and co. to not try him out. But assuming he does stick around in the National Hockey League next year, what are your expectations for Berggren? Because I see a lot of people talking about their expectations for the other guys. As we said, Edvinsson, you have Soderblom, all the other good guys in Sweden doing their thing, but for the guys that have graduated from Sweden into North America, they don't really get the same attention nowadays, I think. So, for Jonatan Berggren, please remember that this guy is a very legit prospect. He is still marinating, and he has done such a good job adjusting to North American ice that all of a sudden, this is a very legit playmaking threat who's got top 6 offensive potential, maybe middle 6 in general because he still needs to round out the rest of his game, but when it comes to the pure offensive potential, there's a lot to be excited for. I'm thinking about Berggren setting up some really good needle-threading passes on the power play over to a Lucas Raymond on the opposite side. I'm thinking of him making some dazzling plays and scoring some pretty nifty points on the rush at the NHL level, because it's been very evident that just over one season adjusting to North American ice, Berggren has had a very easy time doing it. So the sky really is the limit here, guys. This guy, you gotta remember, he produced better than every other Red Wings rookie in the Grand Rapids Griffins system has done in the past few years. This was better than Zadina, better than Veleno, better than all these other guys. Granted, he was a tad older, he's 21 now, but still, you can't go out there and tell me that it's not worth getting excited for this guy and paying attention to what he's doing, because I think a lot of people have sort of faded out Berggren in their prospect glasses because he's not in Sweden anymore and he's not playing in international tournaments. That's what happens when you go over to the AHL and you just do your thing, you focus on your craft. You kind of go under the radar a little bit if you're not a superstar talent name, right? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about Jonatan Berggren in the season that he has had. Where do you see him going next season? Is he good enough to play in the NHL and maybe get 20, 30 points? Do you think he gets a little bit more points than that? Or do you think they stick him in the AHL still and they say, okay, we want you to be the best player in the American Hockey League before you play National Hockey League games at 22, 23 years old? Where do you think Yzerman goes with this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this British 99. and bye.